Every second we live is a new and unique moment that never was before and never will be again. And what do we teach our children in school? We teach them that 2 and 2 makes 4, and that Paris is the capital of France. When will we also teach them who they are? You are a marvel. You are unique. In all the world, there is no other child exactly like you.
I want you to get into, we're going to do something now called group pictures, and I want you to get into groups of about 4. Listen carefully. One of the exciting things about theater is that actors can build pictures using themselves. If I were doing something as a mime, which I do sometimes, and I wanted to show you a wall, I might do it like this. I would create the illusion. But if I were to use graphics and make a picture of it myself, I might become the wall. So in this exercise, you are going to, in your small groups, being connected to each other, you're going to build a picture and then freeze. The first word is motorcycle. Go.
Driver. I'll be the wheels. I'll be the wheel, you be the wheel. I'm the helmet.
Okay, try to stay on the carpet if you can. Okay, let me see the driver. Looks like one of them doesn't have a driver. We almost have a collision going on here. Okay, let me see you rev up your motorcycles. Okay, and freeze. Build me a picture of a castle. Go.
I'll be the tower. I'll be the gate.
Okay, and freeze. Beautiful. Look around at the 3 castles. Gorgeous. Build me a picture of a garden in the moonlight. Go.
I'll be this.
And freeze. Build me a picture of a UFO spaceship. Go.
Okay, let's turn around.
Okay, take it seriously. Stay in your character. Whatever it is that you're building, become that. Okay, so guys, let's see you really get into character. By that I mean become part of the spaceship instead of yourselves. Be that spaceship, okay? You can have movement in this one if you want, blinking or something like that. Okay, and freeze. Build me a picture of a sailboat in a storm. Go. Many of us work with large groups when we develop a show, and this exercise can be very useful. Some of the actors might become mimes who then work together to create a castle, for example, in the distance, or a skyscraper in the city, a crowd of lonely faces, or the wind in the sails of a boat. And freeze. I've always loved the collage of movement, music, and poetry. There's so much material to choose from in creating a performance piece, and in addition to using published works, there's always the poet within each of us waiting to come out. There was a Japanese poet whose name was Issa, and he wrote a poem, and he said, I am one who eats his breakfast gazing at the morning glories. So just with that one line of poetry, what do you guess about this person? I am one who eats his breakfast gazing at the morning glories. What do you guess about this man who lived many moons ago?
One who enjoys the morning.
He enjoys the morning. What else?
He likes breakfast.
He likes breakfast.
He's creative.
He's creative. Okay, great.
He enjoys eating breakfast, gazing in the morning.
Gazing in the morning. Does he seem like a tense person or
Yeah.
relaxed person? Relaxed. Okay, I want you to think about yourself. And I want you to think about something you could say about yourself in one line of poetry, and then find a way to actually paint a picture with words. So, if you were saying, for example, I am one who sometimes feels shy. Let's say you want to write that down. How can you say that and paint a picture? You might say, I am one who walks on the playground at lunchtime and sees children playing, but no one looks at me. I am one who walks down the bright hallways in the early morning at my school and sees children by their lockers. That's a way of saying the same thing, right? But you're not actually saying, I am one who feels shy. You're painting a picture. The second one I gave you gives us more of a picture, right? Of the two ways. Okay, so open your poem, I am one who, and then just say something about yourself. Paint a picture with your words. Give us colors and sounds. What's the weather like? What are you wearing? What are you seeing? I am one who spins in a pink ballet skirt when the sun goes down and the moon goes up. I am one who loves to watch the deer go leaping through the thick forest and listen to the music wandering all around me. I am one who sits in a red chair and watches the Super Bowl every year. I am one who expresses my feelings better with animals than man. There's another writer who lived named D.H. Lawrence, and he wrote a poem that went like this. It's called The White Horse. He said, the youth walks up to the horse to put its halter on, and the horse looks at him in silence. They are so silent, they are in another world. What do you think D.H. Lawrence meant? They're so silent, they are in another world.
They're silent that they're not in reality, that they're kind of daydreaming.
They're kind of daydreaming.
They're experiencing something new.
They're experiencing something new.
Like, they're so silent that like, oh, I'm in another world because it's so silent.
It's so
I'm not used to it. So
right, I'm not used to that kind of silence. It is like another world.
There's no other people that talk.
Right, right, no other people. So I want you to think about a moment in your life, any time from the time you were born right up until this morning, a moment where something happened and you left the reality of breakfast and homework and school. Something happened where it felt for a second as though time stood still. Just like that moment between the boy and the horse. A moment where time stood still and it was like you were in another world. Somebody wrote something, just to give you an example, about a moment when they saw their father. They hadn't seen their father for many years. And someone around your age, a poet, who said, I am sitting, and this isn't exactly the words, but it's an idea. I am sitting in a green chair, looking at the rain out my window. My father walks through the doorway. My father, whom I hadn't seen in 5 years. So there's a moment where it was as if they were in another world for a second. Maybe it's a moment between you and a pet. Maybe it's a moment that happened when you saw your grandmother in the airport. Some moment with a friend, some moment when you saw thunder and lightning and thunder happening in a storm, something on a camping trip, a moment where for a second you were just like in another world. And when you create that on the paper, instead of saying, a moment that happened to me was when I was walking down a dirt road, and instead of saying that, create it as though it's happening for the first time. I am walking down a dirt road in the middle of August. A deer comes around the corner. A deer whom I hadn't seen. I'm kidding. Okay, so you got the idea? Okay, begin your poem in the present tense as though it's happening right now. I am doing what? And paint a picture with your words. Really use a lot of colors, images, time of day, color of the tablecloth when the phone rang, things you remember. I am sitting in a room with white walls when the door opens and two people come in and wait. Then they put their hands up and start to teach me sign language. Time stood still. Why? For one reason only. My beloved great-grandmother died. It's that simple. My mom did not try to hide it, nor did she explain. She just said, great-grandma died. I was angry. You know, I just sort of knew it was coming because she was old. So I was not angry because of that. It's because I never told her I love her. Never. I want you to think if you could be anything in the world, anything from an atom to a yellow shirt to a blue rug to a person that you admire to a skyscraper window to a piece of fruit on a tree to a bracelet. If you could be absolutely anything, a deer in the woods, the snow that's on the top of a mountain, tell me about yourself.
Did he?
Well, I am Jamie's blue jacket. She wears me every day. Sometimes I wait all afternoon for her. Think about what you are and tell us about it. Tell us who you are. Tell us what you do. Tell us what you feel. I am what? I am a flower. I am gracefully rocking back and forth. My petals are shining red. I have 2 stems and lots of leaves. But soon a little girl picked me off the ground and put me in water. That was the last thing I knew. I am a baby bird flying high. Please tell me if I'm flying right. I am a bridge. People walk and drive their cars across me all day and all night. I lift myself up when big boats go under me. I suspend myself high over the water. I am a bridge. I am a cow that has been milked 1 hour ago. I want you to find a way of acting out the poem. In your group, somebody might be a deer, somebody else might be a tree, someone might be the wind coming through the forest, maybe somebody might be a pair of blue sneakers waiting in the closet, someone else is the closet door. Think how you can use yourselves to be different things in the poem, and you're going to have about 10 minutes to find a poem, one poem that you think would be fun to act out. So why don't you now get into groups of about, I guess, 4 or 5 people apiece, somewhere in the area of the stage. I am a dog. As I protect my owner's property, And if any burglar comes near the house, I shall chase him away. Because I am a fearless dog. Okay, and freeze. Okay, let's give him a hand. Good job. Okay? Let's have Jamie's group. Nice work. Try to freeze at the end, too, okay? It makes it even more powerful if you don't jump up and get into the audience. Let's come right down center stage. Okay. Okay, nice job. Okay, wait for your audience. You haven't got one yet. Now, see how much you can stay in character. Here we go. I walked in the hospital room that my mom was in. There she lays with a baby boy, cradled in her arms. My new baby brother that I was looking forward to. Take out a big lemon lollipop and let me see you take a taste of it. Now put that back in. See if you can't take out a little bird and let him stand on your finger. See if you can pet the bird. Beautiful white bird.
I have a boy.
Do you think that if you maybe and see if your bird will fly away. See if you there they go.
Bye.
Now
Hey,
reach down.
my bird's back.
He came back. Oh look, so mine came back too.
My pet came back.
They like to stay with us. Isabel met an enormous bear. Isabel didn't care. The bear was hungry. The bear was ravenous. The bear's big mouth was cruel and cavernous. The bear said, Isabel, pleased to meet you. How do, Isabel? No, Isabel didn't worry. Isabel didn't scream or scurry. She washed her hands and she straightened her hair up. Then Isabel quietly ate the bear up. The children who are deaf and hard of hearing, I had worked with several times in Chula Vista. So they had a real sense of theater, and they were very comfortable creating. There were a few other children who were children with severe disorders of language. And I don't know that any of the three had done any theater at all. So we have a difference there. So we were working with children who were deaf and hearing, which was the first time for me to do that. So that was really interesting to be signing and talking and watch these children who could hear experience sign language for the first time, and to have that work in a show. And I always use sign language as a closure because it's such a beautiful language and so wonderful for the kids to experience it, and they focus in so quickly, so that it's a nice way of ending a workshop, bringing everybody together as a group. And so it was fun to watch the hearing children and the deaf children signing with me when we ended each day. I opened with an exercise I love called Something That I Like. I asked each child to say their name. It really is a name game. It's an introduction game, and then with that they say, I said, my name is Carol and I like looking at the stars at night.
Okay, so my name is Carol. My sign name is Carol. It's from the heart. Carol. And I like looking at the stars. Okay? What's your name?
My name is Adam.
Adam, that's his, sometimes like a nickname, a sign name. He takes an A in sign language and goes like that, Adam. Everybody do that with me. Adam. Okay.
So we're getting that
What's
beautiful
something that you like?
individuality happening, and we're also creating that ensemble right away, which is important, I think, in working with a group. And I paid attention to what each child liked because I knew that I could use that, hopefully, in creating a show with them. For example, Nora liked to dance.
Okay. Nora.
My name is Noah. My favorite is dancing.
Dancing. She likes to dance.
So she ended up being a dancer, an angel who danced. And the two boys, John and Michael, they like being creatures. They like moving like that, so I capitalized on that. So that's important for me to get a sense of where children are at in terms of things that are important to them. And I just took energy and I just changed it into something, and then that went around the circle.
Toothbrush, right.
And that is a wonderful way to, I find, to open the children and to get that creativity flowing.
And she shows the girls all the different things.
There was room for children to be characters in the forest, in the king's forest, and so out of that we got the trolls, the boys who played the trolls, because that was something that they were interested in. It was a structure where I could plug in children's ideas. Nora being the dancer. It was something that I knew was had been in the story, and it was Nora that I thought would enjoy that a lot. We worked with the idea of confidence, and this story evolved of a girl going to the castle and all of the obstacles that were there, and by the time she got to the castle, she had lost her confidence. So it was such a wonderful idea. To me, makes a very important statement about the journey of life, although we didn't speak this way, you know, in the rehearsal process, but I did emphasize with the children. I wanted to make sure that I had communicated to them what confidence was, so we were all clear about what confidence in that last moment when the king asks Penny, what's in the bread that makes it so delicious, and she thinks for a moment, and she says, confidence. And whatever they receive, but I think it's so important to use theater as a vehicle through which one can make a statement and one can help children to feel better about themselves. And it's so true in life. I started to say that we have these obstacles that bring us down, and we think, I can't do it, I can't make the bread, or I can't audition for that play, or I can't write that paper. And then we move through that, and I wanted to have the king and the angel be two people who said, you can do it. And then the beautiful result that she went out and she into the castle kitchen, which was huge, and she made the bread.
And she's enchanted.
Right.
The other thing is, did anybody say, oh, but I wanted to be...
No, Courtney had a moment, one child, she wasn't sure that she wanted to be the castle cook, and I sensed that right away when I said, would you like to be the cook? And she had said angel, and I had already thought about Nora for the angel that danced. So I had to find a way right away in that moment to make the cook sound interesting.
What about if you are the cook and make her all beautiful for the party? Okay? That would be beautiful. And
So I thought that maybe she could bring in flowers or something right before the actual festival for Penny in the kitchen, and have flowers on herself and help Penny to look beautiful for the King's Festival. So I thought of that, and I watched Courtney sit up and feel okay about it. So it's paying attention to those kinds of things, because I didn't want anybody to be doing something they didn't want to. So I tried to make each part seem exciting for that person if I thought there might be a problem.
I've done it! Oh, clever me, clever Toad! Poor rat, he means well, but how can he help out with me? After all, I'm not just an ordinary animal. I'm Toad, the great Toad. I picked him so well. He thought I was dying. I would make an excellent actor. Oh dear, he said. I'm free! I'm free!
There's a new girl. Hi. The child next door has a wreath on her hat. Do you live here now? Of course, silly. Her afternoon frock sticks out like that. All soft and frilly. Don't you love the garden? It's all right. There are fairies here, you know. They live here.
Oh, pooh, there's no such thing as fairies.
She doesn't believe in fairies at all. She told me over the garden wall.
That's really silly. I've never seen one.
She thinks they're silly.
I have a new watch.
Child next door has a watch of her own. What's your name? She has shiny hair, and her name is
Doe.
Mine's only Mary.
I have to go in now.
Bye. But doesn't it seem very sad to you to think that she never her whole life through has seen a fairy?